Chief Operating Officer Business Forum. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about our initiative, and then as well as some meeting courtesies and ground rules. And then we're going to get on to the program. The COO Executives in Transition is designed to support Chief Operating Officers and in these very uncertain and challenging business times, getting COOs in transition back to work in the next great opportunity. We are open to COO Forum members, as well as any Chief Operating Officers or second in command executives, with absolutely no fee or obligation. The initiative aligns with the Chief Operating Officer Business Forum, COO Forum, core values, and is expressly intended for Chief Operating Officers and second in command executives. We're really just underway. This is the beginning of this, and we're learning as we grow, and I think we have a wonderful session today. In terms of guidelines, just real straight down the thing, we're meeting courtesy. Let's keep it on mute. It just makes everything work better until we get to the time where we're talking to each other, and then we'll do it there. Business first. Yeah, if you have to jump out, you have to go put the dog out, or do anything relative to get a cup of coffee. It's casual, relaxed. This is not a formal kind of event. Business language, no politics are kind of obvious. Let's stay away from that language, and let's certainly stay away from politics. The meeting is going to be recorded, and we're going to post it to the Mighty Network as a reference, and we'll keep that there for the entirety of this initiative. And then keep your job prospects confidential. Nobody wants to see some bad faith poaching and anything like that. It just doesn't belong at the C-suite. It doesn't belong here. And so just remember to if you have something on the line and it's about to close, you don't want to share it with people who are also looking for work, because you never know where that's going. And we're going to post questions and chat, and you're welcome to use that as well, so that you can stay up with the thought leaders. I have some people to introduce to you. First, I'd like to introduce Laura Weichel, who is the COO Forum second in command for 13 years and is our Executive Vice President. Based in Atlanta, she is responsible for leading the many and various activities of the Chief Operating Officer Business Forum, COO Forum organization, and leadership overseeing all chapters, chapter directors, and members. She is a wonderful, upbeat, visionary colleague who creates extraordinary outcomes and successes. We're also joined by Fiona Murray, who's part of the COO Forum. Fiona's new, and she is taking the point on this initiative. So she's the one who's going to be the touch point for everybody as we go through this process, and as well as some other duties she has. We are really grateful that Fiona is part of our team. We have two thought leaders today. First off, Carol Kremimer is an internationally recognized as an executive brand expert, professional speaker, and author of the best-selling book, LinkedIn for the Savvy Executives. Carol Kremimer creates powerful brand messaging for senior executives and their companies to increase their visibility, influence, and ability to steer their future. A member of the National Speakers Association and a certified visual presenter, Carol frequently presents on effectively communicating personal brand and personal presence online. We are also joined by Margaret Ritchie as Minnesota's first triple qualified Gallup coach. Margaret's passion is to create great teams that value each individual and accomplish all they set out to do. From executives to mid-management teams, projects to cross-functional teams, her love of people sees the potential in each one and the huge synergy that these teams possess when they work together well. Margaret's additional work is with entrepreneurs, helping them understand and accelerate their business building talents, while helping them acknowledge their blind spots, gaps, weaknesses. This knowledge helps them grow their businesses faster and stronger. Margaret is also the chair of the Minneapolis, Twin Cities, Minneapolis-St. Paul Twin Cities chapter director for the COO Forum, and we are very blessed to have her as part of the COO Forum team as well. I'm going to let you take it away, Carol and Margaret.
Thank you. So greetings to everyone here. We got a full slate of people here. I love to see that.
Yes.
One of the things I want to kind of direct you to is that if you don't have your LinkedIn profile open right now, I would encourage you to do that. A lot of the different things that Carol will be talking about, it would be helpful for you to see exactly where it lays on your profile so that you can address things after our presentation's done. So that we're going to have a couple of different times during our presentation when you're going to be doing some self-brainstorming. So when we do that, and we're going to do that in lieu of having some breakout sessions. So when we do that, I'd like you to have a pad of paper and a pen ready to jot down your thoughts, and we'll direct you as to how, what we're going to look for. But also we want you to make sure that you're taking notes because there could be a lot of different things talked about. And this is a working webinar for you. And so we want you to be able to go back into your profile at the end of our webinar so that you can address some of the things that you jotted down. So it's a working session, and I'm just excited for it. So let me see. We're going to also we wanted to spend more time in Q&A today. So we're not going to have as many slides. We're going to have some slides, but not as many slides. Just simply because we want to get your questions answered. And so we're going to ping it back into the Q&A session back to you, and I'll be gathering questions, and Carol will be answering everything. She's an amazing, just an amazing lady. She does so many different things. And for me, I've been so blessed to have her in my life for the last 3 years. We're just amazing friends. And I love seeing her smiling face here, so it's great. Well, I wanted to give you kind of a little bit of an introduction about my time in transition. And then we're gonna talk with Carol about how she got involved with LinkedIn. So in a previous life, I was the COO of an international toy company. And we had an industry event, global industry event that had me in transition. And so during that time, I didn't know that the whole landscape had changed about getting a new job. I mean, I had always had my next job lined up before I left the last one. So to be in transition, it's kind of this free-floating, crazy place where you don't know where you are, don't know where you're going to land, and it plays a lot of tricks with your head. And so as I was navigating this new landscape, I came to find out that LinkedIn was actually going to be one of my best friends, but I didn't know it at the time. And I only had, maybe 500 connections at that point. So later on through that journey, I learned what a valuable tool LinkedIn can be for finding your next position and finding the job that you love, the next job that you love. And so I want to give this over to Carol now. I want her to tell her intro on how she got involved with LinkedIn.
Okay, thanks, Margaret. My intro to LinkedIn, oh, this sounds garbled. Are we okay? Okay, so my introduction to LinkedIn really came in 2011 when my position of 20 years dissolved in front of me. I had been a marketing communications consultant to a Fortune 500 company for 20 years. And the company fell on some difficult times, and they did what companies often do, and that was outsource whole departments. And marketing communications was one of those. I was devastated because 20 years of my life, my network was all inside that company. And I needed a new network in order to be able to work again. And I needed to know, how does this business tool really work? And while I was discovering all of that and studying, I was reaching out to my former clients who also had lost all their jobs. And I was helping them with their profiles. It wasn't very long until they began to throw people my way, asking me to help their friends on their LinkedIn profile. It's been an amazing journey. One of the things that I learned very quickly was that although everyone needs help on their LinkedIn profile, I am best suited to help people in the C-suite and people who are senior level leaders. And so that's what I've been doing. Are we ready to start with my slides? Margaret? Well, I don't
Yes,
hear
I
her.
think we are.
There
we go.
Yes. Okay, so come on, why is this not working? There. Okay, this is good. All right, so LinkedIn is going to be such an important part of your next position, finding your next position. LinkedIn is all about business, and it is an essential business network. One of the things that people look for in someone that they'd like to hire people they know, like, and trust. It's absolutely possible that you can sow the seeds of know, like, and trust right into your profile from the very beginning. And the other thing that is so important is that we stand out from the crowd. We need to be memorable. So these are the things that I'm going to focus on for you today, because I know that in order to be memorable, we have to really put our heart into it. The most memorable profiles start right from your heart center. Some people would refer to that as your brand. And so this is the way that I talk about brand. It's maybe not the most sophisticated way, but it gets where you need to go for LinkedIn. Your brand is built around these 3 questions. And I would like to suggest that you take a note on these 3 questions, because these really are important questions. I find when I've got the answers to these questions, I can write. So the first is, what are the 3 things you want to be known for? It's important that they not be 4 or 5 or 6 things, because the deal is 6 is not twice as good as 3. It's not even half as good as 3, because 3 is a number that we are hardwired to remember. So what are the 3 things you want to be known for? What are your differentiators? What things make you different in the world of work? And then last is, what are your keywords? So when we take all of these questions together, it becomes like a blueprint. Now, I'm going to give you the gift of time. This is that sprint that Margaret talked about, the brain sprint. We have 2 minutes. I want you to write down, what are the 3 things you want to be known for? So go ahead and take your pen and paper, and let's get started. Laura, how are we doing on our time?
About 20 seconds. Okay, I'd wrap it up. You have about 2 seconds and you can take it over, Carol.
All right. So when we know the answers to those 3 questions, we can use it as a blueprint for every section of our LinkedIn profile. And when we are very deliberate about how we create our LinkedIn profile, it creates the ability to be remembered, to be memorable. So we want to use these questions, the answers to these questions, in your headline, in your about section, in your experience section, and in your skills section. And I'm going to show you a little bit about what that might look like. So this is my client, Kirk, who at Medtronic realized that he was not going to be the chief financial officer that he wanted to be. He was vice president of finance, but he actually took a severance and decided to concentrate on finding a new position. And now he is a CFO. But during his transition, we knew that he couldn't keep this as his headline. So we created a functional title for him. And his functional title was not VP because he really didn't want to be VP. So we got senior financial executive and we put CFO in there. It was an aspirational title. And then we have now 220 characters to use to fill out the whole headline. At the time that I was working with Kirk, we didn't have that many characters, but here we go. This is how he brings value. So his differentiator is that he brings positive system-wide impact through people development, collaboration, and strategic innovation. So those are the 3 things that he wants to be known for. And the fact that his work always cuts across the entire enterprise is a remarkable thing. That's his differentiator. Now, Margaret said, this looks wrong. He's a CFO. This sounds like a COO position. Why doesn't it say P&L and all those financial speak words? We wanted to address what was different about Kirk. And we wanted to indicate how perfect he was for the C-suite. Here's my client, Dan. I think he's here today. This was his headline before. And here is his functional job title. So we have a 3-part functional job title, and it includes general manager, which is a position that he's had in the past, and director of VP Global Supply Chain, sales and operation planning. So it's 3 parts. And then how does he bring value to his company? He does it by creating outstanding results through people development, process improvement, and integration across international facilities. So think about this. This is a keyword-rich headline. This gives him some different parameters in which he's already been very experienced. And I think that this will serve him well. This is my client, Greg, who's a chief financial officer of the largest credit union in Hawaii. And his challenge is that he is a candidate for chief executive officer for this credit union. And so he chose as his functional job title, strategic CFO. He wanted to say he's not just all about the numbers. And he brings value for both members and staff through performance excellence in systems and practice. So I hope you can see how the 3 things you want to be known for can inform how we create a powerful headline. And the headline is so important because it's one of the first things people see about you when they look at your profile. So moving on, this is an about section. And again, I've used Dan as my exemplar. We are showing, we have 2,600 characters to use, and we want to use them well. We write in the first person because that is the language of interaction, and we want to create an actual connection between, an emotional connection between the person reading your profile and you. And then we have given him some internal headlines, which are taken from his functional job title and talked about his experience in those areas. And the last thing that we've done is include his contact information. Really, really important. Okay, this is what a part of the experience section would look like. For each of your job positions, we have 2,000 characters to use. And we want to use the first part of those characters to talk about what is the context in which you are working. And then beyond that, we want bullet points. And the bullet points should be able to address metrics. If you've got metrics, make sure you've got them in there. Numbers always are important. And it's exciting to see that I think this is Kirk, had lots of numbers that we can put in. Okay, I think these are Dan's again. This is in the skills. You want to make sure that your skills are aligned with the things that you want to be known for. So I'm going to give you just a minute to look at your profile and to see whether your top 3 skills align with the things that you wrote down before. And if they don't, later you should take an opportunity to make some adjustments. The skills have changed significantly. It used to be that the first skills that showed up at the top were the most endorsed. And that's an important concept, but it's not applicable now. Now you can actually pin the first 3 skills, the skills that are most important to you. And many times when I work with someone, the skills that are most important to them are not skills that were ever on their profile before. And so when we put them in the top 3, eventually somebody will endorse those skills and make you whole. Okay, we're going to move on. So in addition to great text, in addition to talking about yourself in the first person and sharing all of your accomplishments, we need to provide some eye candy here. Things that really will delight and that will help make you memorable. So this is my client, Tony, and this is not his most memorable shot. But he is the owner of a sportswear company that manufactures the highest quality professional team uniforms like these worn by the USA hockey team. This is a worthy headline picture. Now, most of us don't have something that is so on point, but you can find evocative pictures that help you communicate your brand. Here's what we did for Dan. Dan had this picture already because he bridges processes and people. And this was just the perfect picture. I was so glad that when I asked him for an image, he was just Johnny on the spot with the right one. This is my client, Greg, who is never, ever going to leave Hawaii. And this says it all. So the next section is called the featured section, the next visual section. And we can populate our featured section with all kinds of visual things. So these 2 things that are in Tony's visual section are actual posts that he made on LinkedIn. And if you clicked on it from his featured section, you could actually see everybody's comments, and it's really kind of fun. You can kind of get a sense of Tony's followings that way. So the next one we're going to share is mine, and I probably got 15 things pinned to this. The featured section is best for things that are visual. So pictures, videos, logos, those kinds of things work in this section. One of the things that absolutely does not work in this section is pinning your resume, which I don't recommend anyway. But a resume looks so bad in this space because it's just a typewritten document. Basically, it's not got a lot of graphic pizzazz. And this section is for graphic pizzazz. You would do better to have nothing in your section than to put the black hole of a resume on this section. Okay, the last little piece of candy that I'm going to share with you is this speaker icon. Now, many of you have really easy to say names. My name is not easy to say, but if you were to click on this speaker icon on my profile, you would hear me say Carol Kemmerer. Carol Kemmerer. And if you are someone who has a difficult to say name, the way that you would get this speaker icon to show up on your profile is through your phone app for LinkedIn. That's the only way that you can record it. But when you have recorded it, then it appears for everyone who sees your profile, they can listen to you on any device. Now, if you have a really easy to say name, you could use this 10 seconds of recording to share your unique value proposition, perhaps. Something. Even, hi, thank you for stopping by. It would be fine. So let's move on. We're ready for Margaret and Carol and you to begin asking questions. So I'm going to stop my share for a little bit, and we'll just have time for questions.
Ooh, we have one already.
Oh, good.
Chris, would you like to go ahead?
Yes, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a great morning so far. Just a question about keywords. I didn't see in the examples that you showed us just the sort of dumping of keywords that I've seen. Actually, I have in my own LinkedIn profile, and wanted to hear your thoughts on whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Okay, so here's the deal. We do have two different audiences for our profiles. One audience is the search bots, and you are delighting the search bots. That's great, but it's really killing that sense of I know you when I just see lists of skills, or not in the skills section, but it's lists, dumps of keywords. So I concentrate, because I'm a marketing communications person, on communicating your value. And in the context of talking about who you are and what you've done, you're using your keywords naturally. Now, that also brings up another point, that it's important to pay attention to those character counts that I provided, because when we write to the margins, so to speak, we have the most opportunity to use our keywords in context. If you're writing your about section and it's 2 sentences long, your ability to make your keywords and who you are shine, 0. So I would really urge you to take lists off unless you've talked a lot in your about section already and you have some characters left. Then and only then would I put things in a list, and I would put them in a horizontal list as opposed to a vertical list.
I have a couple questions for you. Then we'll kind of jump into the chat room. I see we have a bunch of people asking questions. So when should a COO in transition change their profile, and how? How should they do that?
Okay, so I used to say that a COO in transition should surely have their profile changed after 3 months or by 3 months. But I understand from you, Margaret, that life is moving a lot faster during this COVID time. And so surely, by month 2, you should have it fixed. Because when we are going with our old title, that's just not working for us. It's not truthful anymore. It was truthful before, but it isn't now, 2 months after that. So the major changes that you need to make are, one, you need to change your headline, which usually people's headlines is their current job position, and that's not working for you anymore. So I hope that I've provided some good samples of how we could change that so that you add value. One of the things that is important to realize is if you were a COO before, you're still a COO. You just don't have a place to be yet. But you know how you add value. That's what goes in your headline. And then what goes in your current job position, my current recommendation is that you repeat your job titles that you want. They could be, one job title or multiple job titles with pipes or slashes in between. And then the company name should be some descriptor, like small to mid-size manufacturing company in Portland, something to that effect. Now, the other thing that I said was that in your job titles, you could have slashes or pipes in between. That pipes is that vertical line. Make sure that you have a space before and after either of those symbols, because the bots read a pipe or a slash as stop. And so anything after that, if you don't have a space before and after, they'll only read up to that mark. And then the rest of whatever you've written is not going to be counted. Does that make it?
So I've heard that there are some words that executive recruiters wince at. What would those be?
Oh, yes. Available for, searching, open to work. None of these are attractive words for someone in the C-suite. So especially some of you have seen the photo frame. It goes with the LinkedIn photo. It's green and it says open to work. Please don't have that showing up on your profile. It absolutely shoots yourself in the foot. That is most effective for people who are just out of school, people who are very young, not for people in the C-suite. Executive recruiters know that there is just no benefit to showing that you're available now. That doesn't give you added value. Nobody cares. As a matter of fact, they are searching for the best fit, and they're searching LinkedIn. They are finding people who may be working or may not be. It doesn't matter to an executive recruiter.
Awesome. So we have some questions now in the chat room.
And I saw Bill waving his hand.
I saw Bill waving too. Would Bill like to go first?
Yeah, I just want to know about ageism. I'm not a spring chicken, and there is a bias out there. We all know that. Any comments on that? Thank you.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I specialize in working with people who all need reading glasses. I mean, people who are in that older group. And so one of the things that I do is I make sure that the dates for graduation are not right there. I make sure that if they've got, I don't know, I usually just take off the months for every one of their positions, because that softens an ability for someone to look and say, oh, they've been out of work for, how many months now. So if you just have years, it's a little more vague. I also make sure that we're not going all the way back to when they graduated from college or when they got their graduate degree. So the concept usually is 15 years, maybe 10 years. Each person is different. And I violate that rule for myself because I want people to know where I came from. And so I've gone all the way back. But I guess not quite all the way back. But at any rate, you can pick up some of the positions that are important to you to have on your profile. Just, where you cut off is kind of random, but we make sure that we've got 10 to 15 years to draw from.
Awesome. So now I'm going to call out some names. And as I call out names, I'll have you unmute, and then we'll have you ask your questions of Carol. Okay. So the first one is Josh Reniker, and then we'll go to Mark Myers.
Carol, Margaret, thank you so much for offering the information you have so far. When I'm scrolling through, I see a lot. This is regarding LinkedIn Premium. I see the little gold icon beside people. So outside of like the in-mail flexibility, is it worth it? Is having LinkedIn Premium, is it worth paying the fee to have LinkedIn Premium?
So for most people, it is not. I have LinkedIn Premium because I can't keep up with the people that are looking at me because I publish on LinkedIn. And so on days that I publish, I could have 17 people looking at my profiles. And so LinkedIn provides you 5 people, the last 5 people. If you are not willing to look often enough to see that none of those 5 people are still in your list, then you need a premium account. So I just am not willing to try to keep up with the people that look. And that's why I have LinkedIn Premium. There are some options for a premium account that provide, job search insights. So they will like rank you on, how your profile scores in relation to other people that have applied. If that's interesting to you, maybe during this transition period, you might enjoy that. LinkedIn is providing its premium service reasonably often. They say, would you like LinkedIn Premium for a month? It's always worth taking them up on a free opportunity for a month to see if it provides you anything. But the answer is it doesn't provide much unless that service with regard to job search is of value. I'm not sure that I would find it of value, but some of you who are more data driven than I am might.
Awesome. Thanks. We'll go to Mark Myers next, and then we'll go to John Beecham.
Thank you, Margaret and Carol. Carol, I'm looking at my profile and I am not seeing the little record icon that you showed with the name. My name's complicated, but I was looking for it for future.
Right. Okay. So you need to be on your LinkedIn phone app. That's the only way that you get that to come. And, Margaret kept saying to me, when are you going to write about this neat thing? And I'm going, it hasn't shown up. Well, I just know that it's only on the phone app. So look there. And when you record it, then you can find it. And if someone else has recorded it, it's always fun to listen to see what they say.
You have to have the
I
premium,
would recommend,
but you have to have the premium app in order for that to work.
no, no, it's available to all of you.
Yep, perfect. So now John Beecham and then Peter.
Hi, good morning. Very timely topic. Thank you to you both and to all that host us here today. I have perhaps been one of the most frustrated, I suppose, users of LinkedIn. Having had now multiple experts looked at my LinkedIn profile, and of course, I've realized, like a belly button, everybody has an opinion on your LinkedIn profile. The one thing that frustrates me greatly is results and not getting them. I've had people that have landed in CXO level jobs look at my profile and just say, John, you're not getting enough views. The search appearances should be 3 times what you're experiencing. And I'm, I keep and have kept track for quite some time through my journey on number of search appearances, and it's been in the low 100 range. I've seen it go down to 50. I've seen it go up to 200. But to have peers say you should be having 300 and 400 hits in your search appearance for that period, week over week, and not seeing that ever. After having multiple experts looked at my profile, I'm just a bit puzzled at what algorithms prevent that from happening. And then I wonder if you might be able to.
Okay, so there are a couple things. One is freshness of your profile. Consider the possibility of tweaking some things. I have a fellow LinkedIn friend who sits down every Sunday and changes something on her profile. And it is a way that it gigs the algorithm to, go, oh, I see something new. Whoa. So that may be helpful to you. Consider finding something to put in your featured section. Then the other thing that really spurs some views is being engaged with other people on LinkedIn. So find yourself some people that you will commit to following what they are posting, and not only following, but like and comment. When we are active on the search, or not on the search, on the platform itself, people brings us top of mind to others. And I think that your stuff will go up. The other thing that I teach is how to post effectively your own material. Not necessarily things that you write, but things that you select to stand in for your brand. If part of your brand is leadership, finding a great article on leadership would be something that you might want to share. And then you tease it up in a certain way, and you play on LinkedIn. You actually find people who will interact with you on LinkedIn. And every time we show up on LinkedIn, we gig the system and people to think of us more often and to be top of mind and to have your views go up. So I would recommend those as things that you could do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll go to Peter Bussey and then we'll go to Darren.
Yeah, hi, Carol and Margaret. Thank you so much. It's been a great session. Actually, my question's been answered. I had the question around open for work logo that accompanies your profile picture, and that sounds like a no-no. So,
Yeah, not at the C-suite.
Yep. Okay. No, thank you. It was answered. So thanks
good.
again for a great session.
Thank you.
Good.
Okay, Darren Shellen, and then we'll go to Steve Geller.
Yes, good morning, everybody, and thank you very much. quick question. I understand, and perhaps inappropriately, but if you don't show a current position on your LinkedIn profile, that your rating or something that affects your overall rating, is that accurate? And if so, what's the best strategy to manage through that?
So I don't know if that is true, but here's the strategy that I recommend is that you add a position during your in transition time. And your position that you add should be acceptable job titles, and then a stand-in for the kind of company that you'd like to work for. An example that I gave was small to mid-sized manufacturing companies in Portland.
Mhm.
You know, it's clear that it's not a company. And it's clear that you are searching, but you're not using the, you know, the dreaded word of searching or available. And you are, you know, you can use that position to talk again, in addition to the about section, about the kinds of things that you do that move the needle for companies that you work for.
Great, thank
So it's another place that you can, you know, say why you would be a great COO for the next company.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's go to Stephen Geller, and then we'll go to Neil Wozniak.
Good morning. First, thanks to the facilitators and to the wisdom providers and all the other COOs on the chat. I was thinking about this sort of brand, developing your brand and differentiation. And I was wondering if it would make sense to create a professional promotional video of yourself, put it in the about section, a link to it in the about section, or put in the feature section, because a lot of, you know, people get snowblind by resumes. It's just, there's, you know, you could say it's memorable, but it isn't that memorable. When you look at all of our COOs, maybe the different companies we work for are memorable, but, you know, we're all basically doing the same thing on paper. Some of the more nuanced things would come across in a video. That way you can actually speak to them with your enthusiasm. I'm wondering what you think about that.
I think that you would be well served to have video. There are some people that would not be well served to have a video because they don't have that comfort. You know, we need to have a certain presence. We need to be comfortable. We need to be who we are. And some people, you put a video camera in front of their face and, you know, all of a sudden we're at attention and we can't talk. So if you can enunciate and articulate your brand effectively on video, wow, do it.
Sorry,
yeah.
What if my about section was just something like, forget the words, click on the video? You know, I just don't, it would differentiate me, you know, and it might be intriguing to them.
Okay, that turns out not to be a good suggestion because the 2,600 characters that you have in that section, if you leave them out, you have no chance of ranking highly on a keyword search. Those are golden characters. That is one of the first places that the bots look. If that section is empty, you have lost it. So please do your video in addition. You can even use some of the same words. Or you could do your video and put your transcript of your video as your about section. But please don't leave your about section empty.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yes.
Good advice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll go to Neil Wozniak and then Mark Myers.
Hi, Carol. Sorry, no video camera on this computer, but thank you very much. This is actually really great content. You know, one concern that I've had all along is I really expected to hear from more recruiters than I have. And so, I've always been kind of concerned about how do I make sure that they know I'm available. So I understand your answer about the open to work frame, and that's great advice. Thank you very much. What's your thoughts on the feature where you can, turn on the back ends, with the 5 titles to say that I'm available, for recruiters to reach out to me?
If you are truly in transition, please do that.
Okay,
If,
great.
if you are, in work and trying to do a confidential search, don't do that.
Got it. Okay, perfect. That's helpful. Thanks.
Okay. But yeah, the other thing is, once you say that you want the recruiters to know, they'll ask you another question. Do you want other people to know? And that's when that frame comes. That's when you get that photo frame. And so you need to back off that if you've got that photo frame.
Yep. Just turned it off, actually. Thanks.
Can I ask a follow-up question to that?
Yeah.
So so you can either say I'm available immediately, or you can say I'm flexible, just browsing. What would you recommend?
Where is it that you get to say this?
So if you go into that section where it says open to recruiters, you can either choose immediately I'm actively applying, or you can choose flexible, just browsing. So to your point of, do you want them to know that you're really available, or do you want to just sort of say like, hey, I'm open, no big deal?
Okay, well, I think if you have no job, you can say that you're available immediately.
Okay, that doesn't decline their perception of you.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. Sorry to interrupt there.
Oh, well, it's an interesting thing because everybody knows that there are many of us in transition at any given time. But it's just, I don't want you guys to use available for, searching, or open in your text.
Great, thanks very much.
Good. Let's go to Mark Myers.
Carol, what is an ideal LinkedIn job search strategy with regards to the number of connections, or perhaps even portraying yourself as an open networker and being very open to a wide network?
Okay, so we really do need at least 500 connections to make the LinkedIn search really work. We are much more likely to show up on high on a keyword search if we have at least 500 connections. As for whether we should be an open networker, I don't know. My experience in accepting open people that say that they are lion LinkedIn open networkers is that they have very poor manners. So, those are the people, in my experience, I have gotten, girly pictures and, questionable things that I have felt the need to report. And I've disconnected with a lot of people that say that they are lions. So I don't know. I don't have a real strong opinion about that, but my experience with people who say that they're LinkedIn open networkers is not great.
My question is kind of also related to the theory that the broader your network, the more you're connected to, the more easily you are found. Is that a myth, or am I off base in some way?
No, you're correct. You are correct. But unless you want to work in Thailand, why is it that you would connect with someone who's in Thailand? Just that was just an example, but it's like my recommendation is that you accept people into your network who could be of value to you. You could, say, yes, this person could be valuable, and I could be valuable to them. There should be a mutuality here. If there's no connection at all, it's like, why is this person contacting me, then no, we should be more selective, I think. So.
Thank you. It sounds like that's it for the Q&A section. And so I'm going to hand this back to Carol because she has
Yes.
some resources for you. So I'll let her
Yes,
take that back.
All right. So let's see here. Ah, come on. Yes. Okay. So LinkedIn, as you can tell, has many, many parts, and we need some resources that we can count on. And that's why I wrote my book, LinkedIn for the Savvy Executive, Promote Your Brand with Authenticity, Tact, and Power. I wrote it for people just like you. It's kind of a roadmap. How it's got things in it about who should you connect with, what should your settings be, all kinds of things that will help inform you in your journey. And then in addition to that, every month I write an article. And this particular article is this month's article, and I wrote it very specifically thinking of this event because there are some brand bruising settings. And I want you to access this on LinkedIn and really work through it. It's a worksheet on what things will really impair your brand and how to fix them. So I have 72 articles now, and you can see them all on my company page. And every week I write a little LinkedIn lesson, and those are on my company page as well. So I invite you to connect with me. Follow my company page, which is carolkemmerer.com. And I hope that you will learn from my books and articles and online posts. And my ask is that if you find something that is helpful to you, respond. Not just with a like, but also with a comment, because that's the way that my content goes further. And I have a gift specifically for you. This is not something that I have ever offered to an audience before, but because of the C-suite, because of the COO forum, they have amassed the perfect audience for me. And my gift is when you connect, if you request my gift, I will provide you a link and we will have a 30-minute Zoom chat about anything that you want to know on LinkedIn. And this is my contact information. I do executive branding and profile development and corporate speaking and training. This is how you reach me. Thanks so much.
So Carol, this is Gwen Carlson, and to all of
Yes.
you. So all of you who are out there, I have known Carol and I know Margaret as well. And I can tell you, having been in transition, I've used Carol's services and continue to do so. And she is a great resource. So the book is amazing. If you don't have it, get it and look at opportunities to get that 30-second. I'm not sure how I'd get it now that I've endorsed her, but we'll chat. But the idea, the idea is things are constantly changing, and I can't keep up with it. None of us can. But she and Margaret do a great job of bringing this forward for all of us that are in this search mode. So utilize the resources. I continue to do so, and they're both really good at what they do. So that's just an endorsement for me, and I'd put that on LinkedIn when the thing comes up on the page. But thank you for your time today, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And what I'm going to offer too in lieu of time, because we're running a little over, is we're going to select 5 of you randomly to receive Carol's book. So this is the book. I have 5 here, and we'll do the drawing afterwards, and I'll reach out to you to get an address so we can ship that out to you. And Bill, why don't you take it from here? And I've got your last screen up. Is Bill still with us?
Uh-oh.
All right.
There you are.
Yeah, they're here. I just want to thank Carol and Margaret for a great session, and the LinkedIn is one of the magic parts of how do we find the next job and get going in our career going forward. We're back again next week, same time, same place, Zoom call, and we will have Chris O'Rourke and Margaret Ritchie will be sharing with us navigating the emotional toil, and we look forward to that. And thank you all for spending time today. And I always feel I learned something, and I'm sure you did too. And I appreciate the great work that's done by COOs and the great work that's done as we get COOs back to work. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Thank you.